So for the zombie class, I have the current destination. So this is basically the vector tree value for the zombie's current position, current destination that it wants to go to. This is just a reference for the player, nav agent, the animator, and this is just a reference for the zombie's hand glider. That's the glider that is in charge of hitting the player. Zombie health, chase radius. This is the radius whereby it that's in charge of uh, checking if the player is within this what represent this is the distance that represents the distance when the zombie will start chasing the player. This is the cooldown for the battle cry. Invincibility duration. For this one, it basically prevents the player. I mean, sorry, it prevents the zombie from getting hit multiple times instantly. So at least they have this small buffer time before they can get hurt again. Buff strength. Basically, this is how much faster the zombie can run. Buff duration. Just a boolean if the buff is done. Just to check if the animation is done. Get hit. These two are very similar to the players. So these are just the parameters for the different animations. So the start, call the necessary um, references. I mean, get the references of the different classes. And for I want to like similar to the sword. I want to disable this. The hand glider only enable it once the zombie is actually hitting the player. So I have this function move to location. So first, if the so it'll take in the value of vector tree. So if the location is different from the current destination, set the current location to the new destination, and this will make the moving parameter true. So the zombie will look like it's walking when once it's actually moving. And let's say the zombie manages to reach the destination, make this to false, and then I have this public eye enumerator. So basically, this will allow the zombie to um, receive the buff. So buff strength would represent uh, the multiplier for the animation speed. So basically, I'm just increasing the animation speed, which makes the zombie walk faster. And after this, the buff duration will go back to the value of 1, which means normal animation speed, and the zombie is slow again. Since I can start a coroutine in the states classes, I made the function here, and I'll just call this function from the states classes. So this is the check animation delay, which is similar to the player. It's exactly the same. On trigger for the zombie when it once it gets hit by the player's sword, reset animation similar to the players, and destroying the zombie. This is for the die state. I'll get to that later. So next goes through the zombie FSM. So the different references to the different states, the zombie class, current state. As for the zombie class, I don't need the previous state since there's no state where I have to go to the previous state for. The states are all specific. It goes to different states, so I don't need the previous state here. Yeah, and this is just very similar to the characters FSM. Now I'll go to the zombies different states. So there's the attacking state. First, make the glider true. This enable the glider, play the animation, set this to false. Then once it's exiting, disable the glider again. Um, then this is just to check if the animation is done. Once it's done, it goes to the chasing state. Okay, so we'll go to the battle cry. So for battle cry, it'll just play the animation. Um, it will uh, do buff the zombie and immediately just go to the chasing state. Okay, so go for the chasing state. So in the chasing state, there's nothing in the enter because zombie just has to move towards the player. So if the player is already close to the sorry, if the zombie is already close to the player, go to the attack state. If it's too far from the player, which is this line here, go back to wandering, and uh, this just represents the zombie to keep moving towards the enemy as long as it's in the chase state. Next would be the dying state. So the dying state, you can actually enter it from any state. But I'll explain that later on. So basically, disable the capsule collider of the zombie. Since the zombie is already dead, set the got hit to false. Uh, Play the animation of dying and just destroy the zombie after a few seconds. As for the hit, uh, again disable the capsule collider. So this prevents the zombie from getting spammed by the sword once the zombie falls. Got hit equals to false. This is basically just to reset the got hit value so that it can accurately show if the zombie got hit later on. Play the animation, check if make sure that the animation done is still false, and actually adjust the zombie's health. And then yeah, this is similar to the player's mid-air falling state. So the zombie will fall first, then will get up, and once it gets up, it will then go to the wandering state. um, then as it exits, reset all animations. This is just in case where like the zombie uh, was actually doing an animation before. If the zombie was in a different state and it got hit, um, then this is just to reset that like if there is any triggers that was enabled during the time, so that after it goes through the hit state here, it won't immediately play that trigger animation out of nowhere. So next would be the state. Okay, so this is the state class for the zombie. So this basically allows the zombie to either go in the dying state or the hit state from any class. So it just varies depending if the player still has health after getting hit. So let's say the player is already almost about to die and gets hit one more time, it goes to the dying state. If not, if it still has health even after getting hit, it'll just go to the hit state. And these are this I left the function here so that it will replenish all the cooldown once it has to. Okay. So for the wandering state, okay, I have to explain this actually. I'll explain this first. So this function right here, I got it online. It basically allows me to get the random position within the nav mesh. So first I need to give the place of origin of the uh, randomizer, the distance, and the layer mask. For the layer mask, it's usually layer 9 because that's the layer for the ground. Uh, Distance will vary, and origin I usually set to zombie because I always want to have a location which is near the zombie's location already. So first, get a random direction. So this I'm assuming this line of code here will basically um, choose a random direction, and it will just be multiplied by the distance. Then it will add that random direction to the current position of the zombie, and then this not if I'm not wrong, this should represent um, the that mesh, and then um, it will apply all the values from random direction on the left mesh, and then return a random value for that's inside the net mesh, so that it actually the zombie can actually go there. So yeah, get a random location, then move to that new random location. So if the player is within chasing radius, and if the player's cooldown for the battle cry is completed, go to the battle cry state and set this to 0, so that the player will have to. This will start the cooldown again. If not, it'll just go to the chasing state. So for this, if the player already reached the location, it has to get a new random location so that it just wanders again, and you move to move to the current destination. Yeah. So that's it for the zombie state.